Hello learners, today we are going to see one of the technique for measuring the topography of the material surface by using an microscope, that is an atomic force microscope, which is also known as an AFM process. So this atomic force microscope, before starting with this topic, we should know that this microscopic examination comes under an material characterization. Material characterization means in which we are going to study the material structure and properties by using an probe or tip. And so this material characterization process is divided into three types: macroscopic examination, microscopic examination, and spectroscopy examination. So, one of the technique or testing examination is the AFM process. So, in details, we are going to see with this technique. So, as we know, there is an optical microscope also, which is often referred as a light microscope, which uses an visible light and a system of lenses to magnify and images of small objects. So, in details, we are going to see with the atomic force microscopy. So, the optical microscopy, what we get a 2D image of the 3D object. But in atomic force microscopy, we are going to get an image as well as the height or the topography of the surface. So, that we will see in details with this video. So, what is atomic force microscope? It is a non-contact profilometers which uses a very fine stylus. Stylus means a probe or tip that is fixed to the end of thin cantilever. So you know cantilever, that on one side of the cantilever link the probe is fixed, and this probe is oscillated when it comes in contact with the topography of the surface, and likewise we get an image on the screen. So they trace actual profiles of highly smooth and flat surfaces. Atomic force microscopy is also called as an scanning force microscopy, that is SFM, which is a very high resolution type, that is more than 1,000 times better than that of optical diffraction limit. So this AFM works by scanning a probe over the sample surface, building up a map of the height or topography of the surface as it goes along. So it means that the information is gathered by filling or touching the surface with the mechanical probe. So in this particular process, this atomic force microscopy totally works on the principle of van der Waals force. So that we will see in detail. So the basic principle इसमें क्या है कि atomic force microscopy का जो tip है that will come in contact with the surface, and due to its oscillation we are going to get an map on the screen, and likewise you can check what is the surface topography. Let's see with an principle of atomic force microscopy. So if you see with an figure, the blue color, that is an cantilever link, and at the one side it is having a tip which is in contact with the surface. On the top side of the tip, that is on the cantilever beam, there is a laser that is focused on its top surface, and when it is this tip is going to vibrate, this laser beam is going to reflect back, and this is given to an screen which will map an object on the screen. So basically, it consists of a cantilever which is made up of silicon or silicon nitride with a tip radius on the order of nanometers. And when this tip is brought in contact with the sample surface, the forces between the tip and the sample lead to deflection, which is according to Hooke's law. And second thing, this deflection is also because of the van der Waals forces. So what do you mean by van der Waals force? It is defined as the attraction of intermolecular forces between molecules. So because of this, whatever the forces are generated, that is going to map the height of the topography of the surface. So as we know that AFM is used for getting an image as well as the height of that particular surface. So this is the basic principle of an atomic force microscopy. Let's see with an construction working. So if you'll see, there are a few main components in this AFM process, that is laser, photodiode, cantilever, and with the tip. Next one is piezoelectric scanner. So we will see in details. So as we know, there is an cantilever beam with a sharp tip, and it is used to scan the specimen surface. This cantilever is typically made up of silicon or silicon nitride with a tip radius of the order nanometers. And when the tip is brought close to the sample, the force between the tip and sample leads to the deflection of the cantilever. And because of this, it relies on the forces between the atom on the tip and in the sample. So the force present in the tip is kept constant and the scanning is done. As the scanning continues, the tip will have an vertical movements depending upon the topography of the sample. The force present in the tip is kept constant and scanning is done. The scanning continues, the tip will have vertical movement according to the topography, and the laser beam is used to have a record of vertical movement of the needle. This information is later converted into visible from using an photodiode. Depending upon the situation, this AFM measures different types of forces like van der Waals force, capillary force, mechanical force, etc. So this is the basic construction and working of the atomic force microscopy. If you will see with an piezoelectric scanner or with an probe, this normally probe is made up of an glass, and there are different modes for getting an images, like it can be an contact mode, it can be an tapping mode, or it can be an non-contact mode. So we will see with an probe, so what are the different materials for an probe. Like probe is made up of glass, and it is made up of silicon nitride. And if you will see with the force versus tip geometry, lesser will be the distance between the tip and the surface, more will be the forces generated. So that is the basic principle behind this. So if we will see with the relation, the van der Waals force generated is inversely proportional to the distance between the tip and the sample. Next, if you see piezoelectric scanner, as we know that piezoelectric material which expands and contracts proportionally to an applied voltage. So whether they elongate or contract depending upon the voltage applied. So same way, this in this AFM process, the piezoelectric scanner is used. So most of the probes use capacitive sensors to determine the cantilever deflection, and hence we get the atomic force. It also has a feedback loop which is usually used to keep the forces at a specified value by maintaining a distance between the tip and the sample. And the signal from the capacitive sensors is fed to a servo mechanism that controls the distance between the tip and the sample. So likewise we get an image on the screen. So let's say with a classification. So this is not the classification of atomic force microscopy, but this atomic force microscopy is a type of scanning probe microscope. So as you can see the flow chart, the scanning probe microscope is divided into two types: scanning tunneling microscope, and second one is atomic force microscope. So the difference between both is that STM, that is scanning tunneling microscope, is only applicable for conducting material, But if you see with an atomic force microscope, it is applicable for polymers material. So that is the basic difference between the atomic force microscope and scanning tunneling microscope. So there are three basic types of scanning mode. One is the contact mode, second one is non-contact mode, and third one is tapping mode. So in the next slide, we will see in details with all these different types of modes. First of all, we will see with an contact mode or contact type. So what is contact mode? The tip is dragged across the surface of the sample and the contour of the surface are measured either using the deflection of cantilever directly or more commonly using an feedback signal required to keep the cantilever at an constant position. Because of this measurement, the static signal is prone to noise and drift and are used to achieve a large enough deflection signal while keeping the interaction force low. So that is a contact type. So the voltage required is for indicating the height of the sample. But there is a problem regarding this contact mode is that it has an excessive tracking force applied by the probe to the sample. So there are chances that we can have a scratching on the surface or the tip of the probe or the tip can get damaged, so we will not get an accuracy. So that is the problem behind an contact mode. So let's see with a non-contact type. Non-contact type in which the tip of the cantilever does not make direct contact with the sample surface. Instead, the cantilever is oscillated either at resonant frequency or just above the amplitude modulation. So these van der Waals forces, which are strongest from the 1 nanometer to 10 nanometer above the surface, this acts to decrease the resonance frequency of the cantilever. As we know that in contact mode there is an disadvantage that either the tip is going to break or it is going to scratch the surface. So this problem can be avoided in this non-contact mode. So this non-contact mode is preferable for measuring the biological samples and organic thin film. So this is the non-contact mode type. Next, last mode is tapping mode. So as we know that in ambient condition, most of the samples develop an meniscus layer. What do you mean by meniscus? Water meniscus layer is that due to ambient humidity, a thin layer of water is formed between the tip and the sample during air measurements, and this result into giving a rise to a strong attractive force that pulls the tip onto the surface. So what we have in the non-contact or sorry, in the tapping mode, that this tip is going to vibrate at a frequency of around 50,000 to 5 lakh cycles per second, and this oscillation amplitude reduced probe contact surface due to loss of energy caused by the tip and contacting surface. So advantage of this tapping type is that it overcomes the problems associated with the friction, addition and electrostatic forces, and it is most effectively used for large scan sizes. So this is the tapping mode type. Let's see with an advantages of atomic force microscopy. So why we prefer an AFM? Because it provides a three-dimensional surface profile instead of two-dimensional image. Next one, it is incredibly used for getting a greater degree of accuracy, and it does not require either a vacuum or the sample to undergo a treatment that might damage it. So FM can use samples with just minor preparation over a large range of temperatures. This high resolution allows topographical image of samples such as DNA, molecules, protein absorption, crystal growth, and living cells absorbed on the biomaterials. So FM is also applicable of complementary techniques that provide information on surface properties. Example, stiffness, hardness, friction, or elasticity. So these are the few advantages of an atomic force microscopy. Let's see with the disadvantages. So the scanning speed of an atomic force microscope is very less, and it is highly dependent on the probe, and it can scan image which is of the order 150 by 150 micrometer. So this is the few disadvantages of the. And one method of improving the scanned area size for AFM is by using parallel probes, so that we can increase the speed. And traditionally an AFM cannot scan images as fast as an SEM. So SEM is capable of scanning at near real time. So that are few advantages of an AFM process. So let's see with an applications of AFM process. So it is a unique and widely used nowadays. So let's see a few applications. Like it is used in biological process such as an imaging of proteins, any samples like ceramic material, human cells, or individual molecules of DNA. Then dispersion of metallic nanometers and nanoparticles can be imaged. Then next we can get an image of a nucleic acid, and quantification of electrical surface charge. So these are few applications of an AFM process. Thank you. Hope you have understood with an atomic force microscopy.